Welcome back. You're listening to Home Wizards. I'm Cindy Dole with Eric Stromer, and we love to improve your home and improve your life. And if you have a garden that has a lot of shade, you know, it's one of those things where you go, oh, I don't know what to put there because, you know, you think of plants that like a lot of sun, but then you go, well, is there something that's going to be pretty and that will last and will work in the shade? Well, the answer is yes. In fact, there are a bunch of brand new perennials that are made in the shade that are going to look great for the upcoming year. So I wanted to share with you some of our favorite new finds because they're just simply gorgeous. And one of these particular ones, it's made for the shade because it's a cinnamon. It's a cinnamon curl coral bell, and it looks like something from the produce section. But Eric, this would look great in that one corner of your yard that's super shady.
Yeah, you know, I do have that shady area, and I was actually looking. I have a couple of ferns there, but there's no color.
See, you want to have some texture and color.
So this is why I'd like to have texture and color because it's really traditional shady stuff. Tell me again the name of that one.
So these are brand new perennials that are made for the shade.
See, that's gorgeous. And it's like almost red wine color.
It does. Yeah, it has. So the leaves are kind of ruffly. Okay, so visualize ruffly leaves in kind of a burgundy or a merlot color.
Right.
And it's called Cinnamon Curls Coral Bells. And it really is stunning, and it's something that it's going to do great in the shade. It's also something if you have containers, you have an apartment, condo, a little deck area, you can put this in there, and it's going to look great for a lot of seasons. So think about that. Think about Cinnamon Curls Coral Bells.
And folks at the greenhouses will know about this.
I think so.
Hopefully,
I think especially you would find this in some of the specialty nurseries or the mom and pop nurseries.
Maybe not big box stores quite yet.
Maybe not. Yeah. Now speaking of coral bells, because this particular plant comes in a few different types and colors, and I know that you love this combination.
Ooh, the variegated stuff.
The variegated.
Yes.
So this is called Carnival Fall Festival. So imagine a leaf. And this is, again, the coral bell family.
Right.
Imagine a leaf that has these edges. It almost looks like a maple leaf, but it's miniaturized. And within that leaf is this veining. So picture a leaf that kind of has a creamy ivory tone, but then there's a veining with apple green. And then on the underbelly of the leaf is this rose pink shade. And that kind of bursts through on the top part of the leaf where the veining is.
Gorgeous.
So you have white and pink and kind of a neon green.
That's really pretty.
Oh, it is stunning.
Because, you really don't think that there's going to be a variation in color so much when you're talking about shade stuff. So it's so cool to see
Really.
this.
And it's going to pop, and it's going to actually put a little bit of magic in your shade garden. So make a note of this. You want to ask for the Carnival Fall Festival coral bell. And the good news is that it works well again in pots and planters, or it can be like an edging plant in the shade as a border. And it's also heat and drought resistant. So even if you have an area that's shady, but you live in a warm part of the country and it gets warm, and even though it's shady, but it's still kind of hot and balmy, you're going to be okay. This isn't like one of those plants that'll wilt. So I love that. So again,
Great.
It's called
It's hardy. It's good for someone like me.
Carnival Fall Festival Coral Bell.
Yeah.
Now here's another one. I mean, it's interesting how leaves can be so beautiful without any flowers at all. This is that same kind of a look, if you can visualize it, but now instead of having the pink and the green on the ivory, this is like two shades of purple. And with almost like a burgundy.
Ooh.
Ron Burgundy.
Ron.
It has a little bit of burgundy with a little bit of the cream and the variegated. I mean, you're looking at like 3 or 4 colors.
And then you kind of interject those ferny type colorful greens with that, and it's incredible.
It's
isn't
yummy.
it?
And so this is called Carnival Rose Granita Coral Bell. And so the same kind of a thing. This is going to look really great along a garden path. Or in a planter, and
Perfect.
it's going to be great. It won't be picky. It's a tolerable plant. So don't worry about it. Now here's something that's a completely different look. It's called Hoocherella, and if you love kind of yummy golden colors, I know you like yellows and oranges.
Yeah.
But this is called buttered rum.
Ooh.
And if you can picture that buttered rum lifesaver, that was one of my favorite lifesavers.
Mine too.
The butter rum.
Yeah.
It's that color, but the leaves. Again, the leaves that almost look like a maple leaf because it has that kind of edging around it. But this is a slow, low to the ground type of a plant. This is a perennial, and these are all shade plants, right?
And does this have flowers and stuff?
And it has little bursts that pop out of the leaves, but it really is yummy. It has shades of gold and kind of an orange and a yellow all in one leaf.
Wow, love it.
It's called buttered rum hucherella.
So now you got the variegated, you got the green, the burgundy, and then you've got this buttered rum, and then the bright green of the ferns. Man,
isn't that interesting?
You just gussied the whole thing
I know,
up.
and it's all leaves. I mean, a lot of people go, leaves, bunch of leaves, it's boring.
Yeah.
Where are my flowers, right?
But then you can brag a bit, and you can come look at my shade garden, and then people go like, what is that?
Now, this is something that looks like it's from another planet.
Yeah.
These are huge leaves that kind of remind me of elephant ears. We have the elephant ear by our pond. Do you have the elephant ears?
No, it fries at my house.
Okay,
too hot.
so this is kind of like that. The leaf is almost like the size of two hands, side by side.
Okay.
Huge. But this is called Alexander's Great Brunera. Kind of a weird name. I know it's hard to remember these names, but if you could picture a leaf that is white, and it's kind of a heart-shaped leaf, and then it has kind of a deep green veining. I mean, tons of veining. Wouldn't you say?
Tons of veining.
How else would you describe this?
Yeah, it looks like almost like a road. It looks like planet Earth from space. You see these little, veining
freeways
things that look like, it's gorgeous.
So this is going to, I mean, it really, it actually has kind of a springtime, well, these little spikes that have lovely sky blue blooms that come from these leaves. So you're going to get not only leaves, but little teeny tiny flowers. And it goes great in shade and partial shade as well.
Right.
So these are all the new ones. Now, I think you're going to love this next one because you're a fan of succulents.
Yes.
And this comes in a neon green. It's called the Winter Thriller Irish Ruffle. And it is, it's this apple green, layers and layers, ruffles and ruffles. It kind of reminds me of a succulent, doesn't it?
Sure does, yeah.
Like an agave almost.
Right.
And right around the edge of each of the leaves is burgundy. It's just kind of an outline.
Beautiful. It's interesting that all the shade stuff has the deep burgundy tone to it. I wonder why that is. I'm going to have to ask a science guy.
Yeah, I think and I love the ruffle idea. So, again, this is called the Winter Thriller Irish Ruffles Hellebore, and it's going to do great in shade. It has it loves basically and can tolerate a wide range of soils. And it's going to burst into bloom and bring you little flowers, little striking, little bright lime green petals with little teeny tiny white flowers. So think about this one.
This one's gorgeous
for your shade.
too.
Now, if you have an area where you want to put something along the ground, you might want to consider the blackberry ice coral bells. This also is going to be
That's
great.
got that deep Cabernet color to it.
Deep Cabernet color, and it's deer resistant and drought resistant, and
that's a big plus. The deer resistant stuff. Yeah.
And this is something great. It's kind of low to the ground. It makes great for like kind of a pathway.
Sure.
A little extra something.
Mix that in with some of the green stuff we're talking about. And
yeah.
Bam! Pow!
Now here's something that's going to add a little bit of height. It's called the Stephanie Cohen foam flower, and it blooms from April to June, and it gives you kind of a, well, again, it's a perennial. It won't wilt in the hot, dry, or humid conditions, and the leaves themselves are very perky green, but then it has these little tufts, these spikes that almost look like, I don't know, like dandelions almost, cones of dandelions in pink and kind of a creamy white that look great against the green.
I used to date a girl named Debbie Cohen back in junior high. I wonder if it's the sister, Stephanie
This is Stephanie.
Cohen.
Stephanie Cohen. It could be the Cohen sisters,
Cohen sisters,
as opposed to the Cohen brothers. Yes, they have a knack for the film industry.
They do.
So Stephanie Cohen foam flower is
right.
what you want to check out, and it's going to really brighten your shady border because these pink flower spikes, when they come into bloom, it really is gorgeous. Now, this is something called the Wincliffe Slaty Blue Hellebore.
Ooh, that's almost like the opposite of the other one that had the green with the purple. This is reversed.
It looks,
gorgeous.
it's very, I mean, talk about art. I mean, this is really unusual. It's a slate blue flower. Slate blue, the purple, right? The leaves, the petals themselves. But then to add that pow, inside the center of the flower is this kind of a neon green with little white little spikes.
Ooh,
Isn't that pretty?
That's a good one too.
Yeah.
You know, you're inspiring me. I have a great area for shade plants. I'm gonna get some today.
So you could try this.
Gorgeous.
It's deer resistant.
And what's the deal with water on all these? Usually, is it moderate, or do you have to kind of get them going?
It depends each plant by plant. But these typically shade plants like to have a deep drenching.
A deep drenching.
A deep drenching, and then because think about it, they're going to be sitting in shade, so the water is not going to dissipate as much as those plants in the full sun. Right. So they want a deep drench, but they don't want to be sitting in muck.
Sure.
So you want to just make sure that there's some good drainage.
Love it.
Oh, I know. It's funny that you would say this is my favorite. I put this on Facebook.
I know. It's
This
gorgeous.
is called the Shooting Star Hellebore. How would you describe this? I mean, it is something
This is almost like a gentle light pink.
It's like a little fairy plant.
With some yellow. It looks like it's in a fairyland, doesn't it?
It looks ethereal, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
Almost
this
like a little fairy.
I'm getting this one.
Like almost like a little, Tinkerbell could be flying around this thing. But
Beautiful.
basically, it's blooming from February to April. So track this down. It's called the Shooting Star Hellebore.
Man,
and I'm
going
to tell you that basically it's white flowers. Think of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 petals, and it basically has pink with cream, and then in the center are these little neon. Little bursts of color right in the center.
I'm actually writing this one down now on my phone.
Shooting Star Hellebore. And as each bloom matures, it becomes slightly pinker. And the bouquet has, so it really kind of has variegated shades of pinks with a neon green in the center. Shooting Star Hellebore. Check it out. We'll put all this on the website. Isn't it inspirational?
Yeah,
I love these. They're
this.
shade plants.
Such a nice idea.
Eric Stromer, Cindy Dole, we have more fun to share with you as we love to improve your home and improve your life.
Just like so many times before. Just like so many times before.